Next, we promised people online they'd have a chance to ask Donald Trump some questions. Carson's in the orange room with some of those. Carson, which questions?
Good morning, guys. Want to mention that the hashtag Trump Today is officially trending on Twitter right now, which is great. Lots of questions from both Twitter and Facebook. Here's one from Mitch, Mr. Trump, saying, what do you think is the biggest misconception about Donald Trump?
Well, number one, it's my hair, okay? That's probably a misconception. You know that. You've known that for a long time. May not be pretty, but it's mine. And I think the other one, more importantly, I think the other one is that, you know, I really consider myself to be a nice person. I have such great friendships, and I love helping people. I love taking care of people. So I think maybe the people aren't, you know, necessarily convinced of that, but I think that maybe is a misconception.
All right, Carson, what's the other?
All right, we go back here to another one from Twitter, this one from Raleigh. It's a three-parter, Mr. Trump. Have you ever eaten at McDonald's? Have you ever worn a pair of blue jeans? And when was the last time you drove a car by yourself?
So I would say yes. The McDonald's last night, I shouldn't say that. Blue jeans, yes. And I drive a car. To me, a great luxury is for me just to get into a car by myself and drive. And I do drive whenever I can, and probably a week ago.
All right, that's not bad. Willie, go ahead.
All right, Mr. Trump, over here this time, we've got Mark Casey, married with 2 kids, registered independent, thinking about voting for you.
Mr. Trump, welcome to New Hampshire. What would you say to people like me who have concern that you'll be dealing with a lot of world leaders you might not see eye to eye with, in Russia, China, and you can't fire them, and but you could start a war by calling them a loser or an idiot?
Well, I'm doing that, and I haven't actually done that on this campaign. I haven't even called any of my opponents, if you want to call them opponents, that. I went to an Ivy League school. I was a very good student. You know, I'm like an intelligent person. I know when to speak and when to be politically correct. As an example, I could be more politically correct than anybody in politics if I wanted to. But one of the reasons I'm doing so well, I think, in every state, like virtually every state, and nationally, is because of the fact that people are tired of this political correctness. You can't say Christmas anymore. You're not allowed to say Merry Christmas. That's one that I mention all the time. You go to stores, you don't see Merry Christmas. No, I think I get along very well. I built a great company. I have a great spirit. I've dealt in politics, and Matt knows this because I've been on the show many times in other forms of politics. I've dealt with politicians all of my life, and I've gotten along. I have an international company. I deal with prime ministers. I deal with the biggest people in countries all over the world. I have great relationships with them. I think maybe that would be another misconception if you want to go back to the previous question. I have great relationships with people. As an example, how can it be worse than Obama? He doesn't get along with anybody. He doesn't get along with the Democrats. It's true. I mean, you have congressmen that have been there for years. They've hardly ever met him. He doesn't get along with the Democrats. How does it get worse than that? I think I'll have great relationships, possibly with Putin, possibly with... And by the way, if I don't, I know how to get along with him through other people. And that's a part of it. So I think you'll be very happily surprised.
He answered your question? Yeah?
I think you did.
Okay, great.
Thank you very much.
Take a quick break, and we'll come back with more questions for Donald Trump. But first, this is Today on NBC.